continue, before we head on to task number 9, working on dynamic action, to complete our task 8, we miss transaction form, creating validation for product ID and quantity. So let me go back to our transaction, and this transaction needs to work with a validation based on the product ID and quantity only. So which means this should be applied here in the form validation. We need only the product IDs. Now actually it's a product name and a customer also as well, right? Basically the customer ID needs also a validations later, and this customer also allows us to give an LOB dynamic, which is a part of this dynamic LOB. So let's just continue what we have missed on task number 8. We'll just apply this transaction form validations and one more dynamic LOB for your customers. Right now, let me go back to your page designer and head into our shared components. Right, and let me just create another shared components for a list of value, which is customer. Let's create customer. List of value from scratch, and this would be a dynamic, and I'll name this one as custom. Right. Of course, we need to select for the customer table. Right, click next. Right, the return column will be customer ID, within the display column will be customer name. Right, we'll apply this one at the same time. We're going to create your validation for the master detail forms. Right, edit this page, and we'll apply LOB for customer master details information, which is this one. So customer ID will now be no longer as number field, but it would be a select list. Change this one as customer name instead of ID, and of course LOB will be there. By the way, I can turn off this one later, but we're going to do that one once that we're creating validation. So this would be shared components. Okay, now this is customer. All right, save this one, and we have just applied. Right, so go back to page 10. Let's see if we just apply that customer names there already. You can still change it. Right, now let's apply validation for transaction form in product ID and quantity. So product ID, one sec. This would be page 12. Right, this would be page 12. This would be product ID. So let's create of this. Before we create, we have to turn off first our validation one, because you're going to be working by your own customized validation, and this will be validation 1. Okay, 1, and the validation would be not now, select product. So this would be item is not now, and of course select the same item, which is product ID. Right, and select product. This would be our error message. Now, once again, quantity, we need to create our validation as a numeric one. So select our quantity. So let's disable first our default. Okay, we don't have default. Head on to your creation of validation. This will be validation 2. Now this is must be type, should be number, right? Or it's a numeric. Now this would be P12 quantity, and I almost forgot, always execute, and the error message will be okay. Alright, naturally this is the numeric. Technically there are two validations here. Enter quantity first, maybe. Enter quantity. Alright, now once again I will going to create another one for a validation 3. 3, and this would be right, this would be a valid only, not equal to 0. Right. Not equal to 0. 1 second. I need to select the item and not equal to that value. Why? Because here, enter valid quantity, you will just make it a separate validation and not equal to 0. So which means, of course, it's both number or numeric. So which means if the value entered is 0, this should not be accepted. Okay, we'll see if it works, but let me just execute this one. And validation not yet completed without a validation message. Okay, let me just copy this one and paste it over here. Right, valid quantity not equal to 0. Okay, just save it. Alright, let's head on to page number 10. Right, run. And let's check out if the validation works. Right, now let me try to enter here U. Oh no, I mean 0. By changes. Let's enter valid quantity not equal to 0. If I enter here A is D. Okay, now enter quantity. So you can see this is numeric. The other one should not be equal to 0. Okay, similarly to our product name, if it null, it's also showing an inline error message. Right, that will continue our task 8 because we have only done it partially last video. Okay, head on to task 9 to the next video. See you.